Welcome to the Zero Waste presentation held by the Office of Sustainability. We will be your local waste wizards. My name is Sandra,
My name is Adrian.
My name is Brooke.
and we will be presenting how you can be a waste wizard too.
To start off, we're going to share a video that the Office of Sustainability has done as a part of the 60 Seconds for Sustainability. Here, Darnell is just going to give a quick overview of the triple stream systems that we have here on campus.
How you guys doing? So you guys may have seen these before on campus. So I'm here to show you how to use them. The first one we have is the black landfill bins, okay? So these consist of things like your chip bags, your flimsy plastic, anything that can be recycled or composted goes in the landfill. So this is the blue bin. This is only for recycling. So this consists of clean bottles, clean paper, and no food materials whatsoever. But this is the green bin. This is only for compostable. Compostable being that it's the green bin. This consists of fruit, veggies, anything edible. Many people don't know this, but most of the stuff we actually throw away go either into recycling or compost. It rarely goes into the landfill. If you have trouble knowing which one it goes into, always refer to the sign on the bin. And remember, these small changes have a big impact.
So Darnell went over the process of using the triple stream bin system pretty well, but we're going to go into a bit of a further depth details over how to use it in the next couple of slides. So stay tuned.
The triple stream waste system are 3 waste bins that are usually color-coded and stationed around campus. We have landfill, recycling, and compost. Our goal is to educate everyone about proper waste management habits because it can impact our environment and help our campus achieve climate change resolutions. Data from my waste audit will explain why we promote these educational services throughout campus about the triple stream waste system. The waste audit was conducted in 2015 by Cascadia on 2 campuses, Hayward and Concord. By the picture and table, we will show how these waste items found in landfill actually belongs to other recoverable categories, such as compost and recycling. By categories that are recoverable, we are talking about how these waste items have other purposes, such as for compost, it can be used as fertilizer and other agricultural purposes, while for recycling, it could have been made into another item. So as we see in our data here, 51%, which is more than half of the landfill, are actually compostable. 27% of landfill are actually recyclable items, along with that 1% of waste items that are actually in the other recoverable category. As you can see, only 21% of non-recoverable were found in landfill, which is the definition of landfill, that is non-recoverable.
And the reason that we have the triple stream bin system on campus is because of AB 1826, which requires that all state entities separate organic waste from landfill waste. So the reason that we have this triple stream is because it's state law that it requires it.
All right, so let's talk about what exactly is compost. So compost basically will take food waste and it turns it into a nutrient-rich soil amendment, basically like a fertilizer. And it's a closed loop system, so you take the food that's grown in the ground and you put it back into the ground so that you can grow more food with nutrient-rich soil. And it's a closed loop system. It's a really natural, healthy thing for the planet, and it's significantly less impactful than the landfill. So in California, about 40% of the landfills is made up of items that could have gone into compost instead. And this is important that we start separating out our organics from landfill, because when those compostable items end up in landfill, they break down into methane gas, which is a very harmful greenhouse gas. It's much more harmful than carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So it's just so much better if we can turn them into something beneficial for the planet by composting them rather than having it be detrimental to the environment, putting it in the landfill. All right, so what items go into compost? So coffee grounds and the filter, as long as it's a paper filter, those all can go into compost. And any green waste, tree trimmings, anything from like the garden and the backyard can also be composted. And peels, rinds, pits, stones, any peels, banana, orange peels, and like avocado and peach pits, all of that goes to the compost. And you can put any soiled paper products into the compost too. So that would be napkins, paper towels, pastry bags like from Starbucks can go into the compost. Just make sure that if you're using paper towels, that it's just like with food waste on it, not with chemicals like bleach. And then any food scraps and leftovers all goes into compost. So just some more examples of the paper products that can go into compost. These paper box plates like you get from to-go restaurants or a food truck, those can go into compost. Paper food wrappers, like I mentioned, the Starbucks pastry wrappers or even like a Subway wrapper, those can go into compost. Taco Bell bags. Brown paper bowls like what we have at Panda Express, those are also compostable. And paper straw wrappers, if you're using a straw. The straw itself, of course, goes to landfill, but the wrapper, it's a paper product, can go into compost. Which is some things to keep in mind. Just not like twist ties, if your vegetable scraps still have the twist ties on it, be mindful to remove the twist ties. That's not compostable. Staples in a tea bag, I know it seems small, but we got this information from our waste hauler. They told us that, a staple in a tea bag, it'll contaminate the whole compost load. So you want to remove that. And you also want to remove stickers from your produce before you put it in compost because stickers are made of plastic. They need to go in landfill, not compost.
And then other materials that are recoverable are recyclables. So clean plastics numbered 1 through 6, the emphasis is on clean. If they're soiled or dirty, they can contaminate other items that are in their recycling bins. So again, you just want to make sure that they're clean when you're putting them in there. And then clean foil, you can always, if they're really small pieces, you can crumple them into a ball and then toss it in the recycling. And then clean and dry cardboard and paper products, toilet rolls, pasta boxes, newspaper, stuff like that. Again, if they are soiled, then you can put those products into compost. And then aluminum cans, plastic bottles, and glass. To put glass in a recycling, it should be intact. So if it's broken, you'd want to put those pieces into landfill. The recycling facility cannot accept broken glass because the pieces are too small and they just kind of slip through the machinery.
Now we will be going over the non-recoverable items, which are landfill materials. Our first item are styrofoam materials such as the to-go trays and to-go cups from certain restaurants. Our next items are plastic film. There has been a bit of wish cycling in which people thought that just because it's plastic, it belongs to recyclable. It belongs to recycling. But you need to follow the strict rule of the triangle, the recycling symbol of 1 through 6. So just because it's plastic doesn't mean it's recyclable. And the material is really thin too. The next one we have goes along with the same rule, plastic straws. Along with that, we have plastic takeout bags. These also can be used for groceries. The main keyword for our next material is balloons, which is rubber. And we also have candy wrappers and chip wrappers. The candy bags and chip wrappers hold complicated materials for the sorters to sort out through, so they cannot be easily recycled. And these information is only local to the Alameda County so far, so this is what our waste haulers can only handle for landfill. The Waste Wizards and I are going to present to you a sorting race review where you guys get to reinforce what you just learned into a little quiz. But don't worry, this is a learning experience, so there are no wrong answers, only learning thoughts. Are we ready?
So we'll show you an item and then we'll take a couple seconds for you to make a guess and then we'll show you where it should go afterwards. An egg carton. So that would go into recycling if it's clean. Sometimes it has materials on it though, so then you'd want to put it into the compost bin.
The main keyword is that if it's made out of paper, they are compostable. But if it's made of styrofoam, they have to go to landfill.
All right, a tea bag. Compost, but don't forget, remove that staple.
No staples over. Eggshells. Eggshells, they belong to compost. Aluminum cans.
Recycling.
We're on a roll.
Paper napkin. Imagine it's got some food soil on it.
It's made out of paper.
Compost.
So notice that none of the items on this screen would go into landfill.
All right, a couple more. Chicken
Bones.
bones. Compost. Now what about these type of sprays with aerosols, like hairspray, spray paint cans? Where do those go?
So those types of materials wouldn't go into any of these bins. You'd actually want to contact environmental health and safety to figure out where you should dispose of these products. If these products end up in landfill, sometimes the chemicals that are in them can leach into the water in landfill and can sometimes end up in groundwater. So it's important that these materials go to their proper disposal sites, things like batteries, electronics, again, those aerosol cans. You should always check before you throw them away. This is an updated waste flyer for universal waste for our university. If you have questions, you can always contact the Department of Environmental Health and Safety.
All right, Starbucks cup. We're gonna have to talk about that one a bit more later.
Yes, we'll be able to go over that in depth.
All right, so now I'm just going to talk to you about the Starbucks cup and how we separate this out. If you were on campus before, you might have seen that we used to tell people to compost your Starbucks cup. However, that has changed. Our waste hauler let us know that they no longer are able to compost the hot cup. And this is because the cup is lined with a polyethylene plastic lining, and it's too energy intensive for the waste hauler to try to separate the plastic from the paper. So we just have to put it all in landfill. But there's other parts of the cup that can be separated out. So the lid, you can actually, if it's clean, go ahead and put it in recycling. If it's really filthy and you can't rinse it, put it in landfill. Okay, and so then with the coffee sleeve, you can actually put that right into the compost. And the cup, like I said, the cup has to go into landfill. So what might be better than throwing all these cups into the landfill is if you could get your own cup, or your reusable cup. You actually get a discount at most coffee places. Starbucks will do like a 10-cent discount, and Einstein's, I think, gives you the price of a refill. So you can save money and save the earth at the same time. So I highly recommend that you just reduce your waste and get your own cup.
Just as with our recent item, we'll have to use critical thinking for our next one, which is a cardboard pizza box. Where do you think you'll dispose it to? There are two options. You can recycle it. If the box is miraculously clean with no food bits, no grease onto the cardboard, you are able to recycle it. But if it is affected by the food products, it has to go to compost. There's a bit energy intensive habit that you can do is you can rip the top half, the clean part of the pizza box onto the recycling, and you can compost the greasy part of the pizza box to the respective bin compost.
Got a couple more items for the race sorting waste.
Pencil shavings.
That's just wood and graphite, so those can go into compost.
Balloons. Who remembers? Landfill. Plastic film wrap. Another tricky one, but it goes to landfill. And styrofoam packing peanuts.
Styrofoam packing peanuts. Keywords.
Styrofoam. Landfill.
A foil-lined juice box. So this item would go into landfill. The mixed materials that it's made up of are too energy intensive to separate, so the container itself just has to go into landfill.
So now that we've taught you all of this, what can you do to try to make a difference? So first of all, you can share what you've learned. Don't be aggressive about it, but you can just educate people educate your friends and family, try to let them know why it's important for them to sort their waste and to try to also reduce their waste. And another big thing you can do is vote with your dollar. So try to give your money to companies that support the values that you want to see in the world. You can avoid purchasing products that have a lot of excessive plastic packaging that will just go to landfill. And this is not always easy for everyone, because sometimes those things are more expensive if they're more sustainable, but do the best that you can and try to use your own cups instead of getting a cup that has to go to landfill, and just make small changes every day. They'll add up.
To finish off the presentation, we'll just share a quick video with you that our waste wizards produced.
Whoa, these tacos are totally righteous, dude. Where do I throw my plate?
You shall not waste.
Whoa, who are you? I am the Waste Wizard. Hey, did you know that food scraps, greasy paper, pastry bags, cardboard, and even napkins are all compostable? Whoa, so everything on my plate and my plate go in the green bin? Yes, and by composting, you turn your trash into nutrient-rich soil. Cool, a plant. What am I supposed to do with this? Oh, right. Whoa, cool, more tacos. And that's not all. My magic works on all kinds of things. Whoa, what about this? Let me see. Let me try again. Whoa, cool. Plastic utensils are not recyclable, but you can choose reusable cutlery that are washable and travels with you. Follow Sustain East Bay and learn how you can be a waste wizard too. Whoa, I'm a waste wizard now too? You sure are. You sure are.
If you have any more questions about sustainability or any information that was on this presentation, you can contact us at sustainability@csueastbay.edu. And for further information, you can always follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Sustain East Bay. Thank you for joining.